In today's lesson, I'm going to show you the easiest way to start improvising over the difficult changes of giant steps. So let's jump right in with a very quick explanation of giant steps. So you know the tune, it is difficult, but why it's difficult? Actually, it's not that crazy what happens in that tune. We just have three different keys, which are B, G, and E flat. And we have a 2-5-1 or just a 5-1 in each one of these keys. And actually the difficult point here is not the tonal material, but it's where the chords change. Because if we take, for example, the first three bars, we have B to D7 to G to B flat 7 to E flat major. So already in these three first bars, we had all three keys, and they changed not at the beginning of the bar, but in the middle, because we are in B here, then here we are already in G, then we are already in E flat, and then we go back to G. So the point is, we have to start hearing this changing very clearly first in order for us to play a solo over them. So the first step would be to be really, really strong and secure with the chords and knowing how they sound and where we are in the form. And then when you can do that, you can start applying this step that you can, of course, then apply to every other difficult tune that you have with difficult changes. So let me demonstrate it to you very quickly. The idea is to simplify the solo as much as possible and using just the pentatonic scales. But what I mean with pentatonic scales is it's not really gonna sound like a pentatonic solo because we have to change pentatonic all the time. But it's not that complicated. The idea is to just play the first notes. If we take, for example, the first chord, B major, then we just play 4 notes of the pentatonic scale, which would be 1, 2, 3, and 5. And we do the same thing for every chord. And it sounds like this if I give you a very quick example. I assume you hear the chord progression, right? So you can hear, if I'm just playing, you can actually hear, right? Now let me demonstrate the whole form just with pentatonics. And when we have a whole bar, then we can go up to until the 6th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes, really, the whole pentatonic, and we go back. So we have 8 notes instead of just 4. So if it's a half bar, then we have 1 and 2 and if we have the whole bar, then we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's it. And this we do for every chord. Slowly. And one again. So, like that, you already have the whole form, all the chords, and you can see all the shapes of the different chords in a very small pentatonic. But now, this is an exercise. It sounds like an exercise. It always starts from the root. So that's just the first step, a very important one, but the first step. Now, if you can do that at a slow tempo, then you can already try to make it musical. And what I mean by that? I mean that instead of doing the exercise, you start to see where the notes are, to hear where the right notes are, and you try to do motifs or melodies, right? For example, now, of course, you don't have a lot of freedom, but it's a very, very good way to start improvising over that tune with a plan, with an actual clear plan, which is already a lot for that kind of difficult changes. And remember, actually the tempo is then, so then you need to be able to do it like that, and then to play. Right? So when you can do it slow, then you can start to push it further and to add more notes and more stuff. But this is a step for later, right? I would really build it up on this foundation. That was a trick that I learned during my bachelor with my professor Roberto Bossart in Lucerne, and that helped me a lot to start improvising over giant steps. So do it slow and loop the chords yourself. Don't use a backing track. So you really practice also the comping and the form. And then you start with these small pentatonics in a place that it's easy for you, that works. And then you can, of course, add more notes. All right, I hope that was helpful. And if it was, please let me know in the comments, or if you have any question or wishes for future video lessons, then also write it in the comments. And click the like button and especially the subscribe button. I would be very, very happy to have you in my musical family. And don't forget to visit my Patreon channel, because if you click in the description, you can go directly to the PDF of this lesson and you can find exactly what I demonstrated to you, the whole exercise with the pentatonics. And you can download it for free. And if this is not enough for you and you want to go a step further, then I have a video lesson just for the people in my Patreon, so you might consider checking it out. I have a video lesson where I explain how to play over complicated changes, and I use another tune of John Coltrane, which is Moment's Notice. And there is another very, very important exercise, even more important than this one, to play over difficult changes. And if you do that, then you're going to play over every difficult change without just playing shapes like we're doing now. So maybe you want to check it out. It's in my Patreon channel, also link in the description. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and see you for the next lesson.